T-minus 10 minutes. T-minus 9 minutes. T-minus 8 minutes. T-minus 7 minutes. T-minus 6 minutes. minus 5 minutes. Minus for minutes. Minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
It's a Monday. We're at it. Scruffy's with us. And there we go. We're ready to rock and roll on this Monday here on A Plus Streaming Podcast WQVZ. Yeah, the Moose is going to be with us coming up in hour 2. I got a lot of really interesting things to talk about. When they say the dog days of summer, maybe we're in them. I don't know. It's definitely a warm one out there, but we're enjoying that. And settle in for a lot of fun sports talk. 902-518-3033 is the text line, brought to you by our friends at Western Dodge. All right, Scruffy, I'm dying to get to this with you. I'll just say the obligatory, how was the weekend? I see you've survived it. Have you had a good one?
Let's just say that I'm on the 7-day DL right now.
Okay. Well, listen, it's a long ways from your heart and it's a long way from your voice box, so let's talk sports today. You can tell me later. Okay, I'm splitting this as we always do. Hour 1, Canadian sports. Hour 2, U.S. sports. But, Mitch, before we jump head first into the CFL weekend and a recap, how much NFL are you following, like, as of today with training camps opening for real on Tuesday?
It's starting to ramp up a little bit. We're getting close now. I think yesterday it was 7 weeks away from the first Sunday. And I know a lot of people in the U.S. yesterday said that this is the last Sunday without football until the Super Bowl. I had to tell a couple of those people that there's football going on north of the border if they care to watch. Don't know if the game was on the CBS Sports Network yesterday, but yeah, football season's here in earnest because we've got everything going. College football is going to get going here pretty quick. Starting to look at some of those to play some prop bets, and away we go.
People get to think this is a football show 100%, and it really isn't, but we're heading into that time of year that it is. But here's the reason I bring that up to you, and I've said it many times over the last several weeks, actually months. I'm sure Roger Goodell's like, let's just get to training camp. Let's just get to training camp. Because, look, if I go to ESPN.com right now and just click on NFL, here's the top stories under the banner. Sources, Eric Bieniemy's wife shot by couple's son. Commanders fire tight ends coach following DWI charge. Ex-offensive guard Devy, 38, died by suicide. It's like, it's all just horrible. Can we get on the
nothing
field?
On Aaron Donald this morning?
No, is he officially back? Well, there is a little
Not
on
yet,
it.
but did you see the video of him working out this weekend?
I've heard about the videos. Apparently he's in better shape now than he played. Yeah. That's there. That's there. As a matter of fact, there is in the headlines here. It's Donald's possible return has Rams McVay excited. So, yeah. So, anyway.
Gee, I wonder why.
Right. This is the warm-up brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe. Carefree travel. Join CFL legends Adam Bighill, Willie Jefferson, Jake Seresnana. CFL fans cruise of a lifetime departing out of the port of Fort Lauderdale February 20th. Prices from $18.99, cruise only. Kevin the Medium is going to be on it. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Travel.
Are you going
Neil
on
at
that
Uniglobe.
trip?
I don't know what I'm doing this afternoon, so I can't say. I would like to go.
Okay,
I don't. If I can,
That's
I'll be
fair.
on it, but I can't. February? Stop. Okay, CFL. Scruffy alluded to it. The Montreal Alouettes extended their CFL win streak to 4 games with a 31-18 victory over the Hamilton Tiger Cats Sunday, but head coach Jason Maas wasn't entirely satisfied with his squad's performance. Montreal, now 6-1, trailed 18-17 with less than 3 minutes to go before pulling away. Saturday, quarterback Nick Fatty Arbuckle made it look easy. He was called into action when starter Chad Kelly suffered an injury. Arbuckle came off the bench and helped guide the Toronto Argonauts to a 26-12 victory over the struggling BC Lions in CFL play Saturday. Those are the last 2 games. What is your overall take coming out of Week 8?
How bad are defensive backs in the CFL when it comes to tackling? Man, we saw some shoddy work in the secondary from guys trying to tackle. The worst one was the Philpott touchdown against Winnipeg. But there were a lot of others. And if I'm Jason Maas, I'm going, whew, we dodged a bullet there because much like the Riders in Ottawa probably lose that game to every other team in the CFL, I think that with an established number one quarterback against Montreal yesterday, they lose that football game.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes a scare, that's where sports is like life, a scare can really wake you up.
Yep.
I think that happened to the Riders. I think it happened with the Alouettes yesterday. Here was my takeaway, Mitch, coming out of Week 8. And I all the viewers that are watching on streaming or if you're watching on television, 902-518-3033, listening on the radio down there in the U.S. South, WQVZ, they love our CFL talk. What was your takeaway coming out of Week 8? I mentioned those two games, Calgary motorboating Winnipeg 52-30 Friday night. And then on Thursday, we discussed it ad nauseum on Friday, Edmonton beating Sask 36-34. Here's mine, Mitch. There is a severe, and I mean severe, drop-off from QB1 to QB2 with most teams in the CFL. That guy from BC didn't look like
that, though, Rod. We've always known that. And let's look at the NFL. Is it any better there?
Not really, but that guy in BC, Chase Bryce, I'm sorry, the other day, he doesn't look like he belongs in the CFL. And as the Lions fans are pissed off today for a lot of reasons, and they should be, but they're like, this guy's been around like 3 years. You should be a lot more ready for your first start than Chase Bryce was Saturday night for the BC Lions, you know? Like Arbuckle comes in, but he's polished. He's a vet. Not a big drop-off there. Trey Ford didn't look very good yesterday either.
Either did Drew Brown.
4 picks on Friday for Winnipeg. So I guess what are we saying? The drop-off is severe. You're saying it always has been, so deal with it? Like, what are we saying?
Well, I don't know. Like, there's only so many spots to go around, and obviously, you would like to have as solid a quarterback room as you can, but a lot of these guys, Rod, that are QB2s, they'd rather be starters, and they try to get their opportunity to do that, and Drew Brown was one of them. He was pretty much set as the heir apparent to Zach Collaros. He didn't want to stay. He went to Ottawa. He had a mediocre first year. Remember back in your day with Drew Willie?
Yep. Couldn't wait. So it's not new.
And then he got his chance, and
you can't blame them. They're young men, and careers are short.
They're
I
looking
don't blame
for the
them
bag.
one. Right. They want to play. And by the way, Gabe Morency, you know who he is. I don't know where he's on the air anymore, and I don't really like him, but he tweets yesterday that the BC Lions made a mistake picking Nathan Rourke over Vernon Adams. I'm like, thanks, Tips. But Lions fans, how do we feel about that? I mean, at 1-5, I think there's a lot of decisions that need to be looked at there. We'll be right back. We're just getting rolling on the RP Show.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Welcome back. It's a Monday. It's the RP Show. I hate to rip through this, but we have to. The quick six show topics. Number 2, Toronto veteran righty Max Scherzer will celebrate his 42nd birthday with a start today, coming off the injured list and starting Monday's series opener at Washington. By the way, shout out Eric to Virginia. I saw your comment. We'll get to it as soon as we can. Jays have lost 7 of 10 since the All-Star break. Speaking of All-Star, point 3, WNBA All-Star Game, Mitch. I'm sure you were just spellbound by it. Team Spoon defeated Team Coop 129-122 in the WNBA All-Star Game. Where are you in the WNBA? I kind of got into it late in the week last week, and I've never got your take. Are you going to get into this? Are you into this? Or where are you?
I have not watched a second of the WNBA.
Okay.
I am.
Oh, are you?
This has nothing to do with the sport or the athletes that play it, but I am sick and tired of the jealousy and pettiness of some in that league when it comes to Caitlin Clark. If it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, the WNBA probably isn't on your television screen.
Of course.
And these people that think that Angel Reese is the be-all, come-all for women's basketball, I've seen better players in Canada West when it comes to shooting the basketball than Angel Reese.
Yeah, so my thing is that I just tuned it in last week for the first time in my life, and I saw all of what you're saying. I'm like, well, this is distasteful. And got in a few arguments with longtime WNBA fans. They're like, well, this is our culture, so if you don't like it, butt out. I'm like, no. Football and hockey, we changed a lot of things because fans and sponsors bitched about it. You can too, or we won't watch. But no, very distasteful. And hey, point 4, Jackson Koivu won the 3M Open by 3 strokes Sunday in only his 3rd start as a pro, holding off Scotty Scheffler with a closing 5 under 66 for a tournament record 25 under and 259 total. Hey, might as well let me just roll the last few here. Cole Sillinger, our good friend Cole Sillinger, signed a new 3-year deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and John Tortorella admits he was disappointed by the Vegas Golden Knights not bringing him back. That's just a few sprinklings on the buffet of the sports on this Monday. You were saying.
Well, Jackson Koivu made the old Scruff Dog some money this weekend. Wish I would have taken him to win the tournament instead of going top 10, but that's okay. That was fun. Other than that, what else? Watch the Blue Jays this weekend. If Dylan Cease isn't pitching for Toronto, why would you even consider taking the Blue Jays to win? My God, they're bad.
Okay.
Like, I don't watch a lot of Blue Jays games, but I watched them yesterday.
I get it.
That's a
bad
team.
I get it. So for those that just joined us, off the top, we open with CFL, NFL. And by the way, that's the poll question today. And we're going to go back and forth between both of these with Scruffy and Moose is coming up in hour 2. But the poll question is for EMJ Marketing, what are you following right now? CFL regular season, NFL training camps, both or neither? You're the guest, Mitch. What are you voting for in the poll?
Both.
Me too. That's what I voted for too.
Yep.
And I think I'm thinking that will probably lead. But back on the CFL thing, I gave a couple of things.
You don't do fantasy football, do you? You're not one of those guys.
No, I tried. No.
Okay. Because I'm starting to do homework on some of those that I'm in, so.
Of all the things in my life, I just don't have time to do homework on fantasy football.
Which is fair.
That's
Which is
probably
fair.
the biggest thing. But the other thing, as a guy that you've known me a long time, I'm in addiction recovery. When I get that email from DraftKings that says, congratulations, you won, on the Monday morning, it's that rush. It's a rush you get. And I don't care what you're addicted to. I'm like, you know what? I know that rush. And it makes me think that I can be an NFL general manager. No, I don't think this is for me. I was winning on it. And I just, ding, 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 this ain't good for me. So anyways, no, I don't know where people have the time. God bless them for doing so. But I gave you the take from Gabe Morency. And the reason I had no issues with Gabe Morency, I think he was on the score at one time. Maybe we were on the score at the same time. But he came at me several years ago about trying to start a fight. And I just said, you are not worth the time. A lot of these hot take guys are not worth the time. And what, your hot take is that the BC Lions made a mistake going with Nathan Rourke over Vernon Adams? I mean, I think we all kind of feel that way, don't we? Or maybe, I don't know. I shouldn't speak for you. What do you think?
I think that Nathan Rourke, I think that move had to be made. I think Nathan Rourke, when he's healthy, is probably the best player in the CFL. You can't look into a crystal ball and see what the future holds. And unfortunately for the BC Lions, Nathan Rourke at this time has not panned out. And Vernon Adams continues to play well in Calgary. Vernon Adams is a modern-day Kevin Glenn. How many teams is he going to play for? There's got to be a reason for that, Rod. Because it's not like this guy is like a McLeod Bethel Thompson, just a journeyman. This is a guy that can play the game, but why has he played in so many different places? You take a look at a guy like Cody Fajardo. He was in Toronto. He's the third stringer. He moves his way up. He comes to Saskatchewan. We can talk about why he didn't succeed here. He ends up leaving. Riders did themselves pretty well in their replacement. They get Trevor Harris. So there he goes to Montreal. He wins a Grey Cup there, but he can't stay because they've got Davis Alexander. Roddy, would you rather have Cody Fajardo or Davis Alexander at Montreal right now?
I'm always going to take Cody, so I'm the wrong guy to ask.
I know you are, but that's what I'm saying. Is like, what you're going to go with the guy 9 times out of 10 that's younger and shows you that he can do it. And Davis Alexander is probably the MOP, although Cody's right there after the 500-yard performance.
Well,
but I'd have to go back and take a look to see what Vernon Adams was when he was leaving his different teams, who was the successor was. But Nathan Rourke over Vernon Adams? I'll do that every day of the week.
Well, I think, by the way, in this business that we're in, this crappy trade, I mean, again, I don't like Gabe Morency, so take this with a grain of salt.
Who is this guy?
I know.
Like, is he just like a modern-day Sid Cicero?
He's a modern-day Morton Downey Jr. is what he is. I don't know what the hell he is. But to go back and point out obvious mistakes or perceived mistakes by a team is just low-hanging fruit and cheap. And maybe it wasn't a mistake. I don't know. Like, if you talk to Amar Doman, you talk to the BC Lions people, Neil McAvoy, they would do it again. But the fact that Nathan Rourke can't stay healthy, Mitch, it's not good. The guy's got to be on the field.
No,
to me,
it's
even
not.
when he was Yeah, even when he was healthy, he wasn't lighting it up. I saw him missing throws. But, I will say
But
this
let's
about
remember this, Rod.
What?
Let's remember this. Nathan Rourke was a 2nd and 6 from probably taking his team to the Grey Cup. And then his defense let him down in the Western Final.
Yep.
That's not a shot against the Riders. That's just fact. They had a 2nd and 6. Terrible play call. Terrible play call. So now you've got 2 minutes for the defense to save your base and get you to the Grey Cup, and they couldn't do the job because Trevor Harris was surgical on that last drive.
Well, I think what's going on in BC, it's not just about the quarterback. They got a lot of problems.
I don't disagree. They signed Lorenzo Malden today.
Wayne in BC writes in, says, good morning, Rod and Scruffy. He says, I like Cody Fajardo as well, but I wish he'd have his best game against other teams. Yeah. He says, unfortunately, it looks like Trey Ford and Chase Bryce aren't going to be good starting quarterbacks. Well, not based on what we've seen. Kirk in Toronto writes in, he says, hey, Rod, on the other 8th day, God created Nick Arbuckle. And how about Sean Lemon with 2 sacks? Hey, Saturday's game, DeBuck was texting me from Florida going, how boring is this? Most boring game of the year. I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of entertained by it. Like, I didn't think when Chad Kelly left the game, I didn't think the hit was that bad. I like seeing Sean Lemon. I didn't think it was, what do I know? But whatever. I know it was Nick Bentley, but it wasn't a headshot. It was not a headshot, which I think they got penalized. What?
It was late, and I thought it was dirty, but that's my opinion.
Either way, here's a QB2 that came in, and granted they had a 17-6 lead at the time, but he didn't screw it up. So there's that. And then there's the kicker that, was out there in replacement of Hyra Lahu. I think he went 3 of 4 or 4 of 5. He did okay. I don't know. You can sit and say it's boring or don't. Whatever. You take out of it what you take. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was a decent crowd at BC Place. But I go back to this thing with the BC Lions fans. I feel like they are pissed. And I guess just with Nathan, at some point, the guy's got to stay on the field, Mitch, and he's got to win games. I don't
disagree. I'm not arguing that. But like I said, when he's healthy, I think he's the best player in the CFL. But he's not healthy.
When my Jeep's running, it's the best, coolest vehicle in South Florida. It's not running. Like, you sound like Lynch. GWH. Great when healthy. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting... Oh, and the story I have for you on Lynch is the funniest Lynch story you've ever heard. John, I'm not even... No, it ain't close. I can't say it on the air. That's why I said I'll call you after the show. And just one more thing on the Cody Fajardo. It's interesting because Jordan Hughes was on this show last week, and he just said Cody couldn't stay. Yeah, I saw that.
Good interview with him.
Yeah, thank you. He said Cody just couldn't stay here. He loves Cody. And I think anybody that loves Cody or knows Cody loves him, unless you were his receiver back in the day, because that comes up all the time. 2 things come up here. Well, I get hockey talk, and the Fajardo thing comes up because people know that we're close. And they always bring up the fact that he called out his receivers after that game in Calgary, and whatever year that was, 2023, 2022, I don't even remember. I remember listening on the postgame show. The second he said I'd throw the ball downfield if I thought we had receivers that could catch it, I was like, oh boy. The sad thing about that, Mitch, is that nobody could ever forget. I get that the locker room, he lost the locker room that day, but the fan base turned on him too. And I just feel like if we ever said something,
yep.
Right, but I'm like, if we ever said anything in life that we regret, like, should you be painted for the rest of your life because of one thing you said in the heat of the moment? Whether it's right or wrong, that's the legacy of Cody Fajardo in Saskatchewan, which sucks. No second chances, I guess, is my point.
I don't think it'll ever happen. But Rod, in the CFL, that guys come back for a second visit or a third visit. I don't think that Cody Fajardo is going to be with another CFL team after his days in Edmonton are done, whenever that is. But what would happen if there was a reunion with Cody Fajardo and the Saskatchewan Roughriders? How would that be taken by the fan base?
I don't play the what-if game. I don't play the what-if
game. I've I've always said that you cheer for the guy in the jersey and not the guy. Rod, I've always said that there would be a majority of the Rider fan base that if he was still at the top of his game, they would have welcomed Simone Lawrence here with open arms.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, it's a small league, and you don't want to burn bridges, and I think he would be welcome. Kevin Glenn came back twice. He was here 3 times.
Look at the Bo
total.
Levi talk.
Yeah, right. BW from Edmonton says, is BC Place up for sale? There's so many fake AI articles. You have to double check with real humans or just come here. I saw the article. And Amar Dolman is interested in purchasing the BC Place. Sorry, I got texts coming in here. I apologize. I should have put my phone on silent. But anyways, no, Amar Dolman wants to. And actually, I spent Saturday night with Kevin Gallant, the former voice of the Calgary Stampeders, Regina Pats, and he said it'd be very smart for Amar Dolman to buy BC Place. That way, his home isn't controlled by the Whitecaps, or I guess
and
the government of BC.
Whitecaps.
Yeah, he would get him too. Okay, we'll be right back. We'll continue this right after the break. It's the RP Show on a Monday.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Dean, Brody, and the Reckloss teaming up for the Hometown Heroes Tour.
If there's work, you know I'm gonna work.
Live at Temple Garden Center, November 9th.
Can't blame nobody else. I can't help myself.
2 of Canada's biggest country acts. 1 stage, 1 unforgettable night on the Hometown Heroes Tour. Tickets on sale now at the Temple Garden Center box office or online at saskpix.ca.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Everybody loves the new Mad Greek commercial with Moose voicing it. Experience authentic Greek flavors right in Moose Jaw at the Mad Greek Eatery, open until 11 p.m. Order online, pick up, or dine in at themadgreekeatery.com. Moose will be with us in hour 2, joining us from the T-Dot. By the way, hello to all the East Division CFL fans watching here on Game Plus, streaming and podcast, wherever you're finding us. One half of our podcast downloads are in the Toronto area. That just blows my mind. I was 4 for 4 in CFL picks week 8. Scruffy was 3-1. The only one you got wrong was Calgary-Winnipeg, if you recall.
Yep.
I think the Bombers are 1-3 at Princess Stadium. I'm calling it Princess Stadium. What do you think? You like that?
I think they'll get their ship back together.
Okay.
Well, they play Ottawa next week, so that should be a win.
Well, they got BC Thursday. Do they not?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they do.
Who was it that has Ottawa? Is it Edmonton? No, Edmonton's got the Riders. I was looking at the games today.
You're going to want to do a little prep before you do picks for this week. That's what I'm sensing here, Mitch, for our friends at Pump Jacks Cathedral, Pump Jacks Weyburn. Come early and stay late at the place where friends meet. We'll do the picks tomorrow. But coming out of week 8, your take is that the tackling's terrible amongst defensive backs in the CFL. My take is that there's a severe drop-off from QB1 to QB2. You're saying that's not new. What are the other takeaways?
We just continue to see some high-scoring games. I know that you guys went, at it hard on Friday's show, but that Edmonton-Saskatchewan game on Thursday night was probably the game of the year. We've got a lot of season left to try and match and duplicate that, but that was fantastic football that ended with the Blanche bomb. And I'm interested to see what we get on Saturday night at Commonwealth. And I know a lot of people, your good friend Eddie Steele, Milt Stiegel, a bunch of other people saying, okay, Edmonton, it's time to show up and watch this football team. Now, I don't think you're going to get a 40,000-seat crowd for that game. But is it realistic to say you can get 30? I think it is.
It's quite amazing you say that. By the way, Larry is watching in Medicine Hat, and he says, all I know, I love watching Bomber home games on TV. It's a great look. Oh, we didn't say they were struggling with attendance. All we're saying is they're 1-3 there this year. That's all that we're saying. And number 2, it's funny because Mike Davis was on this show on Friday. He didn't come to the CFL till, what did he say, 2015. And he spent 7 great years in the league, and now he's down in Vegas running the Indoor Football League. And Mitch, to sit and and Mike's like late 40s. He's not a kid. But I went and looked up. My very first CFL broadcast was 1999, a preseason game. Sask at Edmonton, there were 37,000 people at a preseason game, Mitch, in June of 1999. Wow. I know. And back then, I told you I was sitting with Kevin Gallant the other night. When he left the Stampeders, I think he said in the 93 season, they were averaging 29,000 per game. I mean, I don't know. Herb Zurkowski went after the CFL and the Gazette. When isn't Herb going after the CFL? But about poor attendance in Montreal. I don't know. Why is that? It's such a, I'm just so sick of the damn narrative. But stadiums are empty, so I guess
Brody,
it's staring you right in the face.
You got to admit, it doesn't look good when you're watching a game on television.
No,
and you see some of the crowds that we're seeing. And TSN has gotten to the point now that they're trying to sort of change the camera angle a little bit so you don't see the crowd as much. I know in Winnipeg and Saskatchewan, they say, well, a lot of people watch the games from the concourse, which is why you see like so many pockets of empty seats. I don't buy into that 100% because on Labor Day and in the Banjo Bowl, those seats will be full and there'll still be people in the concourse. The attendance is an issue, and you can't deny that. Why is that happening? Well, we could have a 6-hour show and still only just scratch the surface
Well,
as to why that is.
I'll be honest. I'll look at it as it should be a fun challenge to try and fill those stadiums. I mean, I'll be going to Florida in 5 weeks' time. If you ever need to look at a case study in a place that was empty, that now sells out every game, how'd they do it? Well, that's different than the CFL, but what it's telling you is it can be done. What?
Yeah, it can be. And I just don't know how much advice, direction, guidance that CFL teams get when it comes to looking at what American teams are doing, both in the NFL and the NCAA. Because you can watch a shitty football game on a cold weather day and see a sellout. And here, it's, I don't want to go, it's too cold. Like, what's the difference? Like, I'll never understand that.
It's marketing. It's not the product. That's not new. And I'll be honest with you, I hate saying it, but I mean, I went into Western Dodge on Friday. I'm not going to name the guy, but there's a young salesman there. And he's like, what are you guys going to talk about today? I said, the Rider game last night, the other CFL games. He goes, you ever talk NBA? I'm like, negatory there, Governor. And he goes, wow, LeBron signed with Philadelphia today. I said, oh, you're into the NBA? He's like, yeah. What else are you into? NFL. It's a league for old white men largely, and the problem is, Mitch, you and I are old white men. So I don't have a problem with it. But
Roddy, I've said it once, I'll say it again. When there are people out there in the 18 to 35 male demographic, and I've seen it happen, who would rather stay at home to watch Saturday Night Football, college football on NBC, whether it be Ohio State against Oregon or Michigan against Wisconsin or whoever, than go to an actual live football game at Mosaic Stadium, you've got a problem. And that's probably happening at McMahon Stadium, at Commonwealth Stadium, at Princess Auto Stadium, everywhere. So it's not just a one-team thing where that's happening. This league has to figure it out. And hopefully the DAZN thing will do that, because a lot of kids these days, they don't know what cable television is because it's all streaming to them. So maybe that'll get it to them. Like, I don't know.
Look, stop.
I know a lot of people this weekend. Like, have we got
No, we're not out of time, but we'll push this to tomorrow, because there was an article from flamesnation.com about how being an NHL fan in Canada is becoming more and more difficult. You just popped something into my mind there. You know, Sportsnet just upped their fee. To me, it's lazy and cheap to just keep upping your subscription charges. Go sell advertising.
I agree.
Make it worthwhile, for God's sakes. Yeah. So, I mean, I have my cable. I have everything that I need, and I don't really worry about that too much. But apparently that's not the case with everybody.
Yeah, and as I said, like, there are people out there, and I forget how much they said it is going up, like, per month or whatever. But I can get a basic cable subscription, and I can probably get the Center Ice package for cheaper. Like, I just, and my basic cable, if you have to use the Sportsnets and the TSNs as an add-on, that's not going to cost you very much.
Well,
but the young person today doesn't have any idea what cable television is.
Yet they can't afford the streaming either. So the problem is, somewhere along the line, it's going to come to a head, I would think. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it because I'm not a young person anymore. You and I both were. What were we doing? We were paying for our mortgage. We were paying for our kids. We were paying for our car payment. All that. I'm not at that stage anymore. So I feel bad for the kids. I really do. They got to pick and choose with what they're going to pay for. And then the CFL is asking people to pay for DAZN next season. And I think that's going to be not a big ask per se, but judging by what I see, they better start doing something.
But that being said, DAZN is your home in Canada for the NFL. So how many already have it?
Quite a few, from what I understand.
Exactly.
I mean,
I think the CFL was very smart to go to DAZN, because nowadays when you can get, I forget what their red zone is called. Like, it is red zone, but they have a different name for it. When you can get that and you can get the games, now you add the CFL onto it. It's a win-win scenario for football fans.
We already have a ton to talk about tomorrow. Like, for instance, when the Blue Jays are on Apple TV, guess what? I'm not watching, especially when they suck now, because I'm not watching them on Sportsnet either. See you, man.
Don't get me started on that.
Talk to you later.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Well, welcome back, everybody, on a Monday. See where we have proof that we are live at the Golden Ticket Sports Center. It's no green screen behind me. But you can't hear them bouncing basketballs. It's all good. Try and keep eyes here, eyes up here. And by the way, we kind of hit on something here with Scruffy and I, and this is, I hope you're having as much fun today as we are. I often say I can smell a hot story like a fart in a car. Something just came up here, though, that I didn't even notice. And the streaming thing, and people have just gone cuckoo. And the attendance issue too. Just hang on. Ken's watching in Mississauga, Ontario. He says Montreal had 21,000 people Sunday. 21,000 people on a Sunday night sitting on bench seats with no backs or cup holders. Pretty good, I think. Hey, I agree, bro. I totally agree. I don't understand. Just so you know, I'm sitting back here watching what's going on. Obviously, I watch all the games on television in the CFL. I'm watching what the media is saying. And I saw this headline today in the Montreal Gazette, which, by the way, I'm a huge fan of Herb Zurkowsky. He's been great to me. He wrote a great story in the Gazette on my recovery story. Herb's a great guy, but it was something about declining attendance sounds alarm bells for CFL in Montreal. And I'm like, I saw what you saw, Ken. And by the way, 21,000 at an Alouettes game, and people bitch about that. 21,000 at a Montreal game, and it's, we have the biggest attendance in the NHL, which they do. 21,000 is great for a Habs game. Apparently, it's crappy for an Als game. Why are certain people, and to be honest, it's a little bit of my friends, the old guard, like Bob Irving after whatever game it was it the Ryder game the other day, saying, what unbelievable entertainment. Why are they changing the rules? You're not helping, Knuckles. You're not helping. On the streaming thing, my buddy Trevor is watching in Deerfield. We had a lot of viewers in Florida today. Trevor from WQAM Miami lives in Deerfield Beach, Florida, writes, and he says the NHL TV before it went to ESPN Plus was $130 for the season. So just hang on. It's funny. There's a lot of great comments coming in. Trevor says it's bad enough that blackouts have ruined it all. BW from Edmonton says $350 for Sportsnet Plus. That's up $70. So, i.e., if you don't have cable and you want to pay for streaming, specifically a la carte, I guess, this is the cost. I'll say it again. I got cable in South Florida. I get everything that I want. I do pay an extra $43 a month Canadian dollars to ESPN for all the NHL games, and I'm happy with it. We have to pick and choose. Now, what's also funny is here, John from Edmonton writes in, it reminded me of something, John. He says, I sat behind a family and their young kids were on the phone the whole game. They were bored, but their parents loved the game. So back in, I want to say 2022, 23-ish, the Flames gave me tickets. The press box was full of scouts for what it was late in the season. And they're like, Rod, we'll give you a ticket to sit in the crowd. The press box is full. I'm like, no problem. So I looked at my ticket. It was $225 to sit in the Flames game. It was like mid-level, not low. $225, not lower level, mid, not nosebleed. And the point I'm getting at is a guy had his two little kids, and I'm talking, they were like 2 and 4, sitting in front of me at the Saddle Dome. And I'm like, $225 times 3 is $675. This guy paid $675, and his kids aren't even paying attention to the game. They're playing on their phones. But guess what? It's his money. He can do whatever the hell that he wants. But I just thought these NHL ticket prices are absolutely insane. And the Saddle Dome largely sells out every game. Every rink in Canada does. So, I mean, we can sit here and talk about the cost of the streaming and the tickets, but everybody's paying it. At what point do you not? It's like gas. Do you really need it? I guess we do. We need gas. We need to watch our NHL. We need to watch our whatever you're into. I had to pay to get my NHL games in South Florida. I'm not bitching about it at all. But what's $30 a month work out to, or $43 Canadian? Way more than Sportsnet. Jason in Red Deer writes, and he says, I bought a fully loaded stick with every channel known to man. I'm no longer giving all these streaming services any more money. You know what this reminds me of? Where are you at, Jamie? Jamie Garcia writes in, or is it Jaime? He says, how many people do you know using gray market streaming services? How about black market? And you just, come on, everybody, have some fun with me for a second. And even you too, producer Corey, if you're into this, sharing your Netflix login. Ooh. Has Netflix come to anybody's door with handcuffs and a taser and said, you're not paying for It's like those mattress tags on the bottom of the mattress. Do not remove these tags from the mattress. It's a federal offense. So you don't rip the tags off them. Does anybody ever come to the door to check the tags on your mattress? Like, why is that a thing? And I'll be perfectly honest with you. From what I understand, my friends Ash and MK are watching in South Florida right now. And they're the roller hockey people. And one of the first meetings we had, I said, do you believe nice guys finish last? And MK goes, I believe nice guys don't go to jail. So my point on all of that is, I don't pirate this. I pay for it. I just would feel guilty not. And you, Jaime, asked if how many people are using pirated. I'm just not. I just can't. Eric in Virginia says, here in Virginia, I watch CFL on CFL Plus. The other games are on CBS Sports Network. I can't watch. I use Sling TV, and I can't get that channel. Ken in Mississauga says, Scruffy is right. Once you have more than a handful of channels with Rogers, TSN, and Sportsnet, isn't really very much considering everything else you get. And Scruffy, here's the beauty. That's why everybody loved me and him on the radio back in the day here, and now we're on your screen today, and everybody's still loving that. My point is he's texting me about our conversation because we didn't have enough time on the air. And Mitchell says, these people that cry about the Blue Jays on Apple TV are so effing tiresome. You get 145 to 150 games a year on Sportsnet. Let's go back to CTV Regina, joining games in progress at 7 p.m. with Fergie Oliver. I was just saying to somebody the other day, I don't mind being 53 at all in that I got the historical reference. Like it's a good age. I remember the day when we had one hockey game a week and it was in black and white on Saturday night. I remember that. Now we have every game in the league in high definition every single night, and they're bitching. He just makes a really good point. Hey, C Lightning's back. What's up, bro? I missed you. He says data centers are being built to stop pirating, etc. Big brother. I guess that is my point, is that I just don't like getting in trouble. Never liked it. Jaime says, yep. Tell it like it is. He says either name works. It literally means the same. Juan, John, Jaime, Jamie. Got you. I'll be like I don't mind saying it. Everybody wonders how the heck my paperwork into the U.S. was processed so fast. It was like ding, 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 ding. Green light, green light, green light. Oh, you're squeaky clean. Yes, I am, because I don't pirate my streaming services. Scott in Vancouver. Where you been, Scott? He says, sucks that TSN games are blacked out unless you live in the market, but I think you can pay extra. Sometimes I can go out to Chilliwack to see Jets games on TSN 3. Are we in a blackout era now? Refresh me. I don't remember. I've said this many times. I have my cable. I have my ESPN Plus to watch NHL. And if my game's not on, like for instance, if the Cowboys aren't on, I'll watch something else. I'm not married to it. I live in South Florida. The Dolphins, every game is on. They never black out a Dolphins game. So who's blacking out the games? And I also remember, oh my God, I'm telling you, man, we should get Kevin Gallant on the air again, because Kevin Gallant was the voice of the Calgary Stampeders, the Regina Pats, San Francisco Spiders, Las Vegas Thunder, just a mentor of mine. I was with him Saturday night, cooked us steaks, and he was saying about how, remember when we didn't have, none of the preseason games were broadcast. It was always on the radio. The home games were blacked out. I mean, I feel like maybe we need to go back to that. I don't know. I brought that up a couple of years ago, and the TSN people just lost their ever-picking minds. Anything I say, they lose it when it comes to that stuff. I don't get it. Trevor, my buddy Trevor Harris says, personally, I black out the Dolphins games. They don't They don't belong on my TV, period. Yeah, but you're an Eagles fan, so that's my thing with the Cowboys. I'll be honest, Trev, you're going to want to hang around for hour 2 because we're going to go far heavier into the NFL. And I'm gravitating to the Raiders. We're on the television in prime time every night in Las Vegas. Why the hell wouldn't I? Not expecting much out of the Cowboys. And Zig Fracassi and I were going back and forth this weekend from NFL radio. It's been 2 years since he quit cheering for the Cowboys, and he said he doesn't miss it. I'm like, I bet you don't. I bet you don't miss it. So I'm not actively looking for a new team, but if one slides into my DMs, I'm not saying no necessarily. Moose will be with us next hour. It's going to be big fun. What's up, Sea Lightning? Thanks for getting everybody to hit the likes on the this one, not this one. We'll be right back with hour 2 right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Hello, Nevada, and viewers across the Silver State, specifically Las Vegas. You're joining the RP show on a Monday. It's hour 2 for everybody else, hour 1 for you. And I'll tell you what, for everybody that's been watching on Game Plus streaming, listening on WQVZ radio, you thought hour 1 was a lot of fun, and it was. This one's going to be at least as much fun. Hi, as we crack the lid on a brand new week, episode number 1785 of your favorite daytime sports talk show. We've got the Moose coming up, by the way, in the guest segment for Prairie Panels today for a variety of reasons. He'll be joining us to talk a lot of, well, football. I said I feel like over the next several weeks, you're going to think this is a football show. We try to cover it all, but we're getting to the really exciting time of the year. And I should tell you that we are brought to you here in this warm-up segment by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the official travel partner of the RP show, and the CFL's BC Lions. They're offering that great cruise February 20th out of the port of Fort Lauderdale, featuring CFL stars Adam Big Hill, Willie Jefferson, and Jake Seresna. Prices starting from $18.99. Cruise only. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe. Travel, Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. Just to give you a little bit of the roadmap here, if we have time, what do we got? We got NFL training camps, some CFL, MLB, WNBA All-Star Game, PGA, some NHL. John Tortorella has come out and said he is disappointed that the Vegas Golden Knights are not bringing him back to coach next year. I need to get everybody's take on that, and I will with the Moose. But I guess, again, let's blow the gazoo. I said we're going to have fun. The poll question right out of the gate today is, what are you following right now? NFL training camps, CFL regular season, both or neither? I have not looked up the results. Maybe viewer Jason in Red Deer can write in and tell me what the poll result is. And as I look down, we're streaming on YouTube as well as Silver State Sports Television. We're on Game Plus streaming, and as I mentioned, WQVZ radio. I was saying I'm not necessarily putting my NFL fandom up for grabs or for auction, but maybe I am. I said I'm gravitating to the Las Vegas Raiders for a variety of reasons. We're on the air in prime time in Las Vegas every single night. I think it would make sense that the Raiders would grab our attention. And Jason in Red Deer writes, and he says, gravitating to the Raiders? Attaboy, Rod. I mean, black goes with everything. And one of our great longtime sponsors from the Ultimate Fan Zone, Billy, who owns it, Billy Ravnick, he says that his number one merchandise seller in his store is Raiders gear. And it's just very interesting because they haven't been good for a very long time, but everybody loves the silver and black. Any sports merchandising retailer on the globe, or at least this continent, would say the Raiders are number one. That's from Billy. So not hard to buy stuff there. Eric is watching in Virginia. He says, what about the Carolina Panthers, Rod? What about them? I'm not going to cheer for the Carolina Panthers. Listen, if I was the Carolina Panthers guy on this show, I would be, I guess me and you would be the only two, Eric. Like, I like Bryce Young. Charlotte is an unbelievable town. I love it. I don't know if I could live there, but it was a lot of fun to visit when we were there broadcasting the USA Flag Football Nationals on the Olympic Network. Oh, that was great. But I'm not going to be a Carolina. I love the whole keep pounding thing. I love the message. I love it all. But what about the Carolina Panthers? I don't like the owner. But, you know, I don't like the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and that's my team. I don't like him. Mark Davis with the Raiders, I think he's so dorky, he's cool. You know what I mean? One of those kind of guys. There are those kinds. Steve Jobs is like that. So dorky that they're cool. That's the thing. So anyways, as we get rolling, the Arizona Cardinals and quarterback Jacoby Brissett reached agreement on a reworked contract that will pay him $15.5 million guaranteed this season, with the chance to make $21 million with incentives, a source told ESPN's Adam Schefter on Sunday. Brissett did not receive any more years on his deal and is scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent after the season. So it was just fun on Friday when Mike Davis was on the program with us from the Vegas Nighthawks Indoor Football League team. And I said, who's going to have a better year, Carson Beck or Fernando Mendoza? And he goes, well, Fernando Mendoza is not even going to take a snap. Keeping in mind, we don't know. We're not fortune tellers. And I, for whatever reason, had a brain cramp and said Jarrett Stidham is the quarterback in Arizona. I meant to say Jacoby Brissett. I mean, how could I have that? They're not even close. Other than both names start with a J, I meant to say Jacoby Brissett. I'm blaming heat stroke that I got that wrong. But the fact that Jacoby Brissett would sign a brand new deal with 15.5 guaranteed, which, by the way, is chicken feed in the National Football League these days, especially for a starter. But he wouldn't be the lowest paid starter. But the fact that they gave him that tells you that Carson Beck is not, he's not going to be the week one starter. We'll see how that goes. Just like we don't believe Kirk Cousins is going to be we do believe Kirk Cousins is going to be the week one starter for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm following more of what's going on in Las Vegas Raiders training camp than I am the Dallas Cowboys, which, by the way, they open on Tuesday. It hasn't even started yet. But now that I say that, and Moose is coming up next, the Moose is on fire. I said to him, be thinking about, to answer this question, where do you get your NFL team news? I'm not talking any other leagues or team, just NFL specifically. Because I was slipping down the Las Vegas Raiders Twitter feed today looking for some photos and stuff. I'm like, oh, they got some cool stuff here. Some interviews with Fernando Mendoza, some articles on what to look forward to in training camp. All I need is at LasVegasRaiders.com or whatever the website is. I just clicked on the link. That's what I'm putting to you, the viewers. Where are you getting your NFL information from? Because you do have to understand something. What you're getting from the teams is what the team wants you to read. Totally fair. Totally fair. I mean, I saw a video from some guy in State Farm Stadium in Phoenix, in Glendale, with a video of Carson Beck the other day. Was on the field in rookie camp for the Cardinals. It was some guy. I don't know. It could have been the groundskeeper filming it. Well, the NFL doesn't really do that, but I'm just saying we can get it from a variety of different sources, but I don't need to go to NBC Las Vegas. I don't need to go to the Dallas Morning News, if that even still exists, for Cowboys coverage. Where do you get yours? I'll be honest, I'll have my television on the NFL Network a lot for the next several weeks. I mean, I was the voice of a pro football team for 20 years, got a lot of great ideas from that. Now is the time of year. This and Super Bowl, as far as being an NFL news junkie, I love. Where they just set the camera up on the sidelines. I did love doing that with my team. Sitting on the sidelines, just rotating the chair. I was the host. We'd bring in our color guy. We'd bring in the players. We'd bring in the coach. And they do it. Watch it on NFL Network. It's the greatest thing. And then at Super Bowl, when they do the exact same. It was kind of disappointing this year. The NFL Network's going cheap, too. It's not like it used to be. They would sit on Radio Row and just run through the guests. I'd just sit there all day. I did love it. Training camps, Super Bowl, it's the best time at NFL Network, but they're going cheap, and I think we've all seen that, right? With all the layoffs. 902-518-3333 is the text line. We have NFL, CFL alum tuning in. I apologize. I'm still getting this. Carlos in Indiana writes in and says, I get my NFL news from Twitter, this show, ESPN, local outlets when it comes to the Colts. He says, because I know where the real outlets are. From the Rick Reach writes in, he says, I used to read Pro Football Weekly. Not sure if they print that anymore. Right? How about Street and Smiths? We all need to get with it. And I'm looping myself in that. My old football buddies, I would go to their homes. John Frenzy, Craig Smith, former pro scout. They'd all have Street and Smiths, a stack of them on one coffee table and a stack of Pro Football Weekly on the Sports Illustrated. Do these things even exist anymore? Oh, my God. James Warnicky writes, and he says, how about the Jets, Rod? You're used to futility and incompetence with Dallas. I'm not cheering for the New York Jets. Why? I'll tell you a little story. I was in New York in December 2017, and I was just tooling around. I was there as a tourist. And was in the area of the Trump Tower and FAO Schwartz, the toy store, and I was going to say Toy Story, but no, the toy store, FAO Schwartz, Tiffany's, and the New York Jets were playing that afternoon, and I can't remember who or why I cared. I think I had a buddy playing on the Jets. Anyways, I walked up to a hotel bellman, and I said to him, hey, man, is there anywhere in here that you got TVs on? Do you have TVs in the lounge? He's like, why? I said, I want to watch the Jets game. He goes, why? Good point. And speaking of Manhattan hotels, our manager of the Moose Jaw Miller Express, he's going to win Coach of the Year this year, just so you know, Michael Gonzalez. He is a bellman in a Manhattan hotel. And I said to him this summer, I said, how on earth do you get 3 months off to come up here and coach baseball when you're a bellman at a Manhattan hotel? He goes, my buddy owns the hotel. Oh, that would help. Jason in Red Deer says he gets his Raiders news from the Raiders website and socials, Rod. See, that's the thing. It's not bad. I'm just telling you, you're getting what the team wants you to see. Period. It's the way that it is now. Arlen Bruce checked in here earlier, and I can't find where it is. Maybe he deleted it. NFL, CFL alum, former Kansas City Chief and 49er, two-time Grey Cup champ. Where the hell is it? Yeah, okay, fair. 902, I can't find it. 902-518-3033. Oh, 111. Oh, my God, 111 Eastern. From the Rick Resch, he says, RP is super informative. Really? Because we've been on the air for 11 minutes this hour, and I feel like I haven't said a damn thing. And, Jason, have you updated the poll results yet? The poll for EMJ Marketing Elite Speakers Bureau is, what are you following right now? NFL training camps, CFL, both or neither? It's a both from me, dog. Oh, wait, we're still in 111 Eastern for the live audience, 1111 Mountain. Visualize a life that you want and then live there. Just live it. Feel it. Let the world catch up. I did it, and it works great. You're watching out in Newfoundland? How about that? The Rick Resch. 902-518-3033. Just so everybody knows, for the streaming audience, they know we do Hour 1 Canadian sports. And my friends that are watching in Florida who are original Canadians, a lot of them, it's interesting how that worked. MK, she goes, your show is what's the best about Canadian sport. Thank you, MK. And then in Hour 2, we flip it over to U.S. sports because we are on the air in America. Figure that one out. Oh, hey, I saw this. Kirk from Toronto, thank you. I meant to bring this up with Scruffy last hour. Kirk in Toronto writes in on the Western Dodge text line, 902-518-3033, says, hi, Rod. The Gordie Howe International Bridge opens today. How about that? You wrote in there where it is. I was going to put this to Mitch. Where do you think the Gordie Howe Bridge is? At one time, the NHL leader in games played. He's been surpassed by Patrick Marleau of San Jose Sharks fame. I can't wait. It's the bridge that connects Detroit and Windsor. You would think that the bridge would be in Saskatoon, his hometown, but it ain't. The Gordie Howe Bridge opens today. Oh, I saw it, Kirk. I understand they've been fighting over who's paying for this thing, and of course there's always a fight. But the Gordie Howe Bridge opens. Can you go down there and drive it for me, Kirk, and send me some pictures? That would be great. We did talk some CFL, and we will with Moose coming up here, by the way, because for the moment it is the only outdoor league playing regular season games right now. Coming out of Week 8, here's what happened. Edmonton beats Saskatchewan 36-34. Friday night, Calgary shabackled Winnipeg 52-30. Tyreek McAllister scored a touchdown receiving, a touchdown rushing, and a touchdown on a kick return. First guy in CFL history to ever do it in one game. Toronto Argonauts, Kirk's Toronto Argonauts won at BC 26-12. We went deep on it last hour, Kirk. Hope you enjoyed that coverage. And Sunday night, Montreal beat Hamilton 31-18. We'll get into more of the Week 9 games tomorrow when Scruffy rejoins us. Noni writes in. She's watching in Calgary. She says, Rod, I'm loving the discussion. It's so true we sometimes have to make a choice what we will subscribe to or pay to. But if you enjoy the product on the field or rink, you will find a way to pay it. Nothing's free. I'm a prime example of a person willing to pay. I still have season tickets to the CFL Saskatchewan Roughriders and live in Calgary. So I drive or fly back for the games. It's worth every penny to me. That's the whole point. I'm kind of sitting back going, do I need to weed out some of these things that I'm paying for right now that I don't use? Eventually I probably will. It's not a lot of money for all of them. But Wayne in BC says, hey, Rod, I'm surprised that you remember black and white NHL games. I'm 20 years older than you. I barely remember them. LOL. Yeah, but we were poor. This has got nothing to do with age. I had a black and white television in the living room. And we're happy to have it. Get out of here with your HD. Moose joins us next for Prairie Panels here on the RP Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back. It's the RP Show, Silver State Sports, Game Plus streaming podcast, WQVVZ Radio. Everybody just calm down. I can't tell you how excited they are that the Moose is here. I'm not joking. Arlen Bruce writes in. He says, great day, RP. Looking forward to seeing your right-hand man, Moose. He's got a question for you. It's an either-or thing. We'll get to that in a sec. El Sasco writes in. He says, hey, Rod. Where the hell is it? He says, I'm getting my hair gel and Bic lighter ready for the return of Two Smokes Moose. Cue the entrance music. Signed Sasco. Moose, what would be your entrance music, your walk-up music? What would be yours? I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but it just came up.
If that was going to be like my persona was going to be smoking darts, I'd probably have a pair of Wranglers on and have some like old-timey Western music would be my walk-up.
I love it.
I feel like Smoking Guns.
Oh, yeah. I feel like mine would be The Fireman by George Strait. Probably would be. But anyways, everybody's excited. Everybody's had a good mood on this Monday. I know you are too. We chatted on the phone earlier. Let me pop this to you first. The poll question today for EMJ Marketing. What are you following right now? NFL training camps, CFL, regular season, both or neither?
Yeah, both for sure. I'm following both, but definitely easing into NFL training camps opening up too. And I've seen some of the posts from some of the football people we follow and in the US, the Dan Orlovskis, and I respect the fact that he says, just chill. Let's enjoy summer for a little bit longer, because people are posting, I wish it was college game day today. I wish the NFL was back. It's like, no, summers are for the CFL, a little bit of baseball, and enjoying the weather. And then we'll get into the NFL and college when we get into towards September.
Okay, well, fair. But having said all, like Orlovsky should know by now, telling people how to act is a fool's errand, as they say. Yes. But I'm also asking, where are you getting your team information for NFL camp coverage? I mean, I just stumbled across the Las Vegas Raiders Twitter feed. I just looked it up today looking for some photos. I'm like, oh, there's some interesting stuff going on here. I feel like I don't need to go anywhere else other than Silver State Sports here and the takes from our analysts and announcers here. But where will you get your Tennessee Titans coverage? The Nashville, the Tennessean newspaper?
The Tennessean, man. Mostly from Twitter, if I'm being honest. The following for me is the Teron Davenports, Paul Kaharski, Jim Wyatt, the usual, cast of characters. But I mostly follow it, honestly, on social, and then a few of the shows that I watch. I stay tuned to NFL Network, a little bit of ESPN, and you stay up to date that way.
Well, like I say, I'm gravitating towards the Las Vegas Raiders. Why the hell not? I'm hoping to get down there this fall, maybe go to the Cowboys. Maybe they lost me. Like, have you ever considered jumping off the Titans train? Because it's been a long, arduous, not comfortable ride for you. Have you ever thought of switching trains?
There's always been bright spots. That's been the nice thing, is there's always been bright spots. That's kept it entertaining. But you're right, it's been a long journey. I haven't thought about jumping off, but as you get it, like being in this business, you become less of a fan as you start to just appreciate the people across the league. So it is easy for me to find another rooting interest. It really is when the Titans aren't in it. Same thing, when you start getting more involved in the games, it's easier to just enjoy the games and not be a fan of one team.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll turn this over to the, at our peril, Moose. I'll turn it over to the viewers in a second. They got a million questions and comments. And so, well, John in Edmonton says, I hope that the coach for San Francisco is okay after the car crash that he got into, life-threatening injuries. I was saying with Scruffy last hour, just go to ESPN.com, click on the NFL tab, and it's just a house of horror. Sources, Eric Bieniemy's wife shot by couple's son. Point 2, Commanders fire tight end coach following DWI charge. Ex-guard Devy, 38, died by suicide. It's like, the good news there is there's a story on Aaron Donald returning to the Rams, and it's got the head coach Sean McVay excited. I feel like it's got you excited too. Yeah, if you were going to leave the Titans, I feel like you would go cheer for the Rams.
I like LA. I'm a fan of the Rams. The people, right? Like, I'm a fan of Sean McVay. I think he's level-headed. I think he's got good perspective on life and on the game, and it's easy when you and I go down there, spend some time, not around the team or anything, but it's a fun vibe. And yeah, I could cheer for the Rams. I could see it.
So Arlen Bruce said good day to you. He says, what franchise quarterback would you have as your franchise quarterback, Peyton Manning or Patrick Mahomes? And he says also his most outstanding player for the CFL this year right now is Vernon Adams, which it's only week 9. It's early for that talk, but you're starting to and clearly we're looking at these guys at the start of their career, not the injured Patrick Mahomes and Peyton Manning. It's a hell of a question. I'm probably saying Mahomes in my mind.
Yeah, knowing what we know now, it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he won his championships early, and now there's so much green grass in front to win more. Obviously, for me, if not knowing how their careers turned out, it'd have been Peyton. He was a little bit of a higher prospect coming out of college, but I think Mahomes is the answer.
C. Lightning writes in, says, the moose came out of the forest into the firing line on the RP show. Yeah, but we don't get too pointed with the questions here for anybody on the RP show. Jason wants to know, hey, Moose, have you watched season 3 of Quarterback since the Titans' Cam Ward is featured?
Yeah, of course. I'm not finished it yet. About halfway through. I'm flipping docs. I was watching the Rafa doc. Just finished that last night. But I'm 3 episodes into this, and it's good. Like I'm having just as much fun following Joe Flacco with the Bengals and Baker, right? I mean, I know you're a Baker guy too. It's a really good season, and obviously Jaden Daniels is the 4th.
I'm going to read this question. Not going to spend a lot of time on it. John says, hey, Moose, why do you think young people only care about the NFL and not the CFL? And that is not, I don't want to waste our time on that. That's a CFL problem. It's not our problem. But you kind of just explained it. The Netflix series is just one example of we feel like we know the players.
Yeah.
And them being followed around with a camera. We feel like we know them. Every week we're watching the people that we don't know them, but we feel like we know them. The CFL, I'm watching the games now. I don't even know. Major ball dropping by the league for the last 15 years in marketing, but that's not what I'm going to get into here right now. But I will talk about is the games, however, because you wanted to analyze some of the Week 8 games. I mentioned the scores earlier. Edmonton, last second field goal, 57 yards by Victor Blanchard. They win in Sask 36-34. Edmonton goes to a league best 6-1. Calgary motorboats the Blue Bombers in Princess Stadium 52-30. Toronto beat BC 26-12 in Vancouver Saturday in a game that I found entertaining. I don't know why everybody is bitching about it. And Montreal beat Hamilton 31-18 Sunday night to close Week 8. What was your takeaway coming out of Week 8?
When did you come up with Princess Stadium? That's pretty good.
When I was writing my newsletter on Sunday.
I like that. That's good when things aren't going well. To me, like, that game, Saskatchewan and Edmonton, was an all-timer. That was a really good game, and back and forth right down to the end. You got 2 of the best quarterbacks in the game playing at a high level. I can't believe Cody's, 510 yards and clean, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. And I'm seeing him on the sideline. There was a really bad series where, for their, standards, dropped a pass, overthrew him, whatever, and they cut to Cody just as he was he's like, we're dropping it, we're moving on. And he's rising everybody up, right? And that's Cody. He's lifting everybody. Trevor Harris is the same way. I'm sure Davis Alexander's like that in Montreal. The good ones, they do that. But it's just fun to watch right now. And I feel so good for the people in Edmonton. I feel bad. Again, Calgary's up and down, but a big win. They're able to put up 50 points. We've seen that before. Winnipeg gets Collaros back, and they're back. They're probably in that game a little bit more than they were this week. And, tough on Trey Ford, right, against a really, really good Montreal defense. Montreal ran the ball really well, too, in that game. But, again, the level of play just continues to be at a really high level across the league.
So that's your takeaway. It's interesting you say that because mine went through it last hour was the drop-off from QB1 to QB2 is steep and fast. In the Canadian Football. Scruffy's was shoddy tackling by defenders in the Canadian Football League. Those were his takeaways. Do those resonate with you at all?
Yeah, that is something that we need to see, and I'm sure it frustrates the heck out of the Dave Dickinsons and guys across the league. Obviously, he's working with his number one, but the drop off to number 2. We've seen that. And I don't know if, I honestly can't tell you where that comes from. I really can't. But that's something that needs to be investigated or looked at, because gone are the days of having Ricky Ray, playing great football. He goes down and Jason Moss steps right in and continues right where they left off. Those days just aren't there. I mean, you had it a little bit. Arbuckle stepping in for Chad Kelly. So they're in a pretty good spot. And Arbuckle was a Grey Cup MVP. Drew Brown is playing okay football in Winnipeg. He is okay football, but he's still not quite playing at that level to win consistently. But other than that, it's pretty tough when you lose your starting quarterback.
That's why I bring so many coaches and former players on this show, because fans couldn't answer that question and only certain media could. Like, when you talk about the names you just mentioned, those are special Hall of Fame players. You know what I mean? Like, Ricky Ray left, but Jason Moss, there was no drop-off. And why was that? Maybe they were splitting reps more. The one thing Mike Davis, the Vegas Nighthawks head coach and GM, would probably tell you is that the backups aren't getting as much reps in practice. They're not getting as much playing time in games, so they're not prepared when they come in.
And your third-string quarterback. Yeah, the other one is the third-string quarterback. I think, I remember thinking back as a kid, Darian Durant is the third string. He's holding the clipboard, and Darian was close to Darren. So I'm like, I think I want this guy to get a shot, right? And he's holding the clipboard learning. Now your third-string quarterback is strictly short yardage, right? So he's not being developed to be the next quarterback, where I think back in the day, you would see more development with that third-string guy. So there was more development, more people coming through. It was a little easier to develop quarterbacks. Right now, you're only developing one other guy.
Rich in Edmonton says it's great to see that the EE Edmonton Elkamos on the rise finally. I've even started going to games again. Well, it took some urging, some cajoling, some winning. Rich, you've joined us late, but you might be excited to know I'm really actually very seriously considering switching my fan allegiances to the Las Vegas Raiders. For the color scheme works very well with what we're doing here. I've walked into the Cowboys merchandise store in AT&T Stadium or the DFW Airport and not wanted to buy anything. You don't ever see me wearing Cowboy stuff. I don't really like the color scheme. Raiders stuff, #1 selling merchandise on the planet for sports. So that's good. Jason says, you may like this move. I don't know. He says, let's not forget, football is two-sided. The defense needs to do their job, too. It's not just on the QB and offense. Well, it's three-sided for one. And two, when I see these guys come in, they're overthrowing guys. They're underthrowing guys. They're taking bad sacks. That's my point. Just the mechanics of what they're doing in the game is the drop-offs. I understand it would be nice to get a stop at a key time. But I'm just saying, from QB1 to QB2 is two different worlds. And that's just at the QB position. That's what I'm talking about.
I know. It is. And we're seeing it. And there's just not the same confidence level. You can feel it when you're watching and the backup comes in. You don't have the same confidence that they're going to be able to get down the field and move the chains. And that's tough. But I think, that's something that teams and coaches need to address. And because, you're going to use your backup. That's just something that happens in this league every year. I think every team at some point will use a second quarterback.
A lot of questions coming in. I'll get to those after Moose adjourns. BW and Edmonton's got a few that aren't related to what we're talking about here right now. So I will get to those in a second. I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but I think you can handle it. Biggest stories going into the NFL season? See you, boys. These guys always stop right in front. These aren't the baseball players. These are young hockey players, Moose, training every morning. They stop right in front of me and wave on their way out, which is nice of them. Top NFL stories off the top of your head. What comes to mind?
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit weeks ago. It's changed a little bit. I'm still curious about Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers getting back together. If they can rekindle some magic. We know it's not going to be what it was. The Chiefs, interesting. Are the Chiefs done? Is that run done? The word coming out of the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift wedding was that all the Chiefs were there and their bond is really tight. They are as much of a unit together and people don't think they're done. I'm curious about that. And then, some of the young players coming in, Fernando Mendoza, is he going to play? I don't think so. I'm curious about Vegas. I'm curious about Aaron Donald and LA taking a run towards another Super Bowl at home. And then obviously my Titans for me.
Carlos in Indianapolis writes in, he says, like we've learned on this show, fans are totally allowed to change teams like coaches, players, and front office personnel do. I was actually surprised that Zig Fracassi, number one from NFL Radio, was a Cowboys fan, period, because he's working at NFL Radio. You wouldn't think he'd have one fan allegiance over, or a team allegiance over another. And secondly, he switched teams. He's not cheering for the Cowboys anymore. I don't know who he's cheering for now, but I kind of went after him on this weekend for, I'm like, I didn't know you were a quitter, Zig. And he's like, I mean, whatever, I'll switch in 2 seconds. I won't lose any sleep over it. But anyways, Rich in Edmonton makes a great point and says, he goes, be careful, Rod, being a Raiders fan takes a toll on your mental health. It takes a toll mentally, Rod. Tread care. I can handle it.
You were a
Believe
Cowboys
me.
fan.
Yeah, I was a Cowboys fan, and I pretty much have a degree in mental strength, so we're good. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Rod's fandom is as fluid as my cup of coffee. Yeah, exactly. Which way is the wind blowing? It reminds me of when Tom Cochran came down to the Grey Eagle Casino in Calgary, which you never did, Jeff. And I said to Tom Cochran, the legendary Life is a Highway singer, I said, who do you cheer for in hockey? He's like, where are we? Calgary? Flames. Okay, but he is a Blue Bomber fan.
He's a performer. So, hello, Calgary. And he's wearing a Flames shirt. You know, you'll have a Vancouver one there.
Yeah. By the way, the time just went whoop. I think we only got about 90 seconds left. So what's up for you this week? What do you want to inform your adoring fans of, Moose?
Yeah, I don't know. I got a slow week, which is nice. I mean, it's never really that slow, but no, it's good to be back on, continuing to follow the CFL closely, and excited that NFL training camps are opening up. And besides that, working on my tennis game and my golf game a little bit, as much as I can.
Well, now that you say that now is my point, but it's like, Moose always, I don't have much going on. Then I talk to you. I was in Ecuador. I was in Paraguay. I was in Argentina. What? Oh, you forgot to tell me that you were going to Argentina for business. You weren't holidaying on those trips, right?
That's right. Those work trips. That's where I got this. Is the Ecuador flea market. This cup.
How are we doing on time, producer Corey? I know we're gonna have to skip out of here pretty soon. Okay. Well, a minute to go, Moose. Well, I appreciate that, and you were in the Raiders training facility. I'm kind of surprised. I don't think it would take a lot to convince you to be a Las Vegas fan, too. That'd be cool if we were cheering for the same team. Wouldn't that be nice?
That'd be super cool. Got to meet some of their staff down there, which was awesome. They got a wonderful facility. It's not far off the strip. And it was really neat.
Scott in Vancouver says Tom Cochran was supposed to have a minority ownership in the Atlantic Schooners. Is that right? You know what I heard? So was Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Funny how that happened. Oh, my God. Let's talk about other fairy tales. The Atlantic Schooners. Get out of here with your Atlantic. Oh, my God. Oh. Okay. Thanks, Moose. Thanks for
Princess
the time. Stay out of trouble.
Stadium. Thanks for that
Princess Stadium. It's in my column. Thanks for reading. Not. We'll be coming right back with a sports update. Viewer takeover 902-518-3033 is a text line. It's brought to you by our friends at Western Dodge. It is the RP Show. Game Plus streaming, Silver State Sports podcast, and WQVZ Radio.
For a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band.
You know your man is working hard. He's worth a team.
Saturday, December 5th, Temple Garden Center.
Now.
The Gene Simmons Band performing your favorite classic hits. Tickets on sale now at sasktix.ca. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Get ready to make unforgettable memories with your little ones at Elmo's Got the Moves, the all-new Sesame Street live show coming to your neighborhood. Friday, December 4th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at Sask Tigs.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world! Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right. It's very, very early in the week to do open phones. Hello, Paul and Humboldt. Or just like a free-for-all. But that's kind of where we're at. And every other show is talking sports and other things. Serious, very buttoned-up, serious shows, the other shows. We don't take ourselves that seriously here. So they like our stories. The Gordon Howe Bridge opening today, connecting Detroit to Windsor. Terry from Calgary writes in. He says, I think I read that the toll for a car is $8 Canadian. Whoop. Be about $5 US. I'll answer your questions. Paul and Humboldt, hello. He says, hey, RP, when you mentioned golfers in cowboy boots in your newsletter, I wondered if you had seen Brad Wall's post about the Reeser Ranch cow pasture open. It's funny. Didn't see that. What I saw was a guy get out of his truck in the parking lot. Wrangler jeans, belt buckle, plaid shirt, cowboy boots, carry his golf bag. Oh, I got to see how this is going to end. He walks right up to the golf course, sets his bag down, pulls a ball out, goes to the tee box. He did it. He was golfing in cowboy boots. I'm like, Saskatchewan, don't ever change. BW writes in, I said I would get to your questions. They just had nothing to do with what Moose and I were talking about. BW says, hashtag squirrel moment. Rod, when you were voice of the Rough Riders for our U.S. viewers, this is what my U.S. friends always say when they introduce me to somebody in Florida. Rod was the voice of the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. They're like the Dallas Cowboys of Canada. BW says, for 20 years, by the way, BW says, did the marketing team ever focus on getting fans from North Dakota or Montana? Well, there's a funny story about that, BW from Edmonton. One day we sat around, not only did that dawn on me that we should do that, but we had players from UND, Scott Schultz, Weston Dressler, some guys from Montana. So we sat around the table, and I said, hey, we should be buying billboards in Williston and Minot and even Fargo and Plentywood and This is what I got from the marketing people. Just call the games. And I'm like, well, we used to sit around and talk about these things, and then we would talk about it as a team, and then we would do it, and we would fill the stadium, and we would win. But those guys that I was, and gals that I was in the start, by the end, had been replaced by people from Green Bay and Wichita and Toronto, and they just didn't understand the area. And we have now what we have. Oh, and BW also, just one more from him. He says, are you doing... Oh, this is for Moose. He says, are you doing a full season of play-by-play in Canada West? I don't know. No, he won't be back. I don't believe doing Canada West. That's Canadian University football. He's too busy doing what he's doing now because the viewers wanted to know why Moose was going to Ecuador and Argentina. And it's because those countries have to do with the company that Moose is working for in the television business. And that's Moose's story to tell, not mine. I don't want to, it's nothing nefarious. He's not bringing drugs back. I don't think. Yeah, who knows? I don't follow him around. I'm not his mom. Moose's mom writes in, Paula, she says, my morning heart is full watching today's show, and I have sports news. The Wynyard Blues are provincial men's fastball champions. Woohoo! The chicken capital. I was on a jet ski in the Florida Keys at Robbie's, for those that know, and Isla Morada. And our guide, Stevie, says, this is the fishing capital. And I said, did you say chicken capital? No, the fishing capital. Oh, that makes more sense. The fishing capital. Because Wynyard's the chicken capital of the world. Moose's hometown, which ironically, Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan is the moose capital. Man, people are getting kooky today ahead of schedule for the week, and I'm here for it. Vintage Sasko writes in on the 902 text line, hey, Rod and Two Smokes Moose, how was the Taylor and Travis wedding? I assume Moose was there. Moose said it was great, and they were all talking about getting the band back together. Wasn't that what Moose was saying? And we only got 30 seconds left in this segment. Thank God. I feel like a lot of people are saying 15 seconds. We'll be coming back with there's a lot going on in the sports. We'll get to that on the update next for Ultimate Fan Zone here on Silver State Sports, Game Plus streaming, podcast, and WQVZ.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help.
Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's Overtime. It's brought to you by our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Kids that are watching out in Western Canada and Southern Alberta, now's the time that you should be working on your shooting. Okay, now's the time. You don't learn to swim when you're drowning. You don't learn to open your parachute once you've jumped out of the plane. Work on your shooting now. $20 an hour lane time or $99 monthly memberships. Unlimited lane time. Overtime Hockey Lanes, 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. Look up Randy and Michelle and tell them that the RP show sent you. This is kind of funny. We were talking about Tom Cochrane earlier, the legendary, 93, Life is a Highway was the #1 song on the planet. Tom Cochrane sang it. And I've gotten to know him. And he's such a great guy. Kirk in Toronto writes in, he says, Tom Cochrane is playing the CNE band shell this summer. I hope it's the same day as the Argos-Hamilton game. I was sitting there going, I saw Tom Cochrane was playing somewhere special. Not Toronto. Where was it? So I just did a quick Google. You heard of this thing, Google? He's coming to the Temple Gardens Temple Garden Center in Moose Jaw. Here. But it's November 7th. I'm going to be long gone. But just saying. He's coming here. I'm like, oh, that's where I saw it. I promised a sports update, and I'm a man of my word. Welcome to Cooperstown. Andrew Jones, Carlos Beltran, and Jeff Kent were officially inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame on Sunday. A record 60 Hall of Famers filled the stage, counting the 3 newcomers among them. 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan suffered several injuries in a car accident last week, including a broken nose, 3 broken ribs, and a severe concussion. His duties will be limited in training camp, but the team expects him to make a full recovery before their Week 1 opener, September 10th. The Miami Marlins were one of the hottest teams in baseball in June and early July. Now they're the coldest, having lost a franchise worst 12 in a row to fall to 52 and 54. And it's not going over well in South Florida, but the good news is the Dolphins are about to start playing. Nobody's going to care about the Marlins. And Tony Romo was arrested by the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office on Thursday for suspicion of operating while intoxicated. The Wisconsin native had played in a golf event, the Wisconsin Amateur Championship, earlier in the day prior to his arrest. Tools of the devil. I'm not talking about golf clubs, but it fits. Sports Update is for the Ultimate Fan Zone. Are you looking for the hottest fan gear? Swing by Ultimate Fan Zone Sports Store or shop online at ultimatefanzone.ca or where real fans get their gear. BW from Edmonton writes in, oh my God, let's open up the comments. BW says, Rod, when are you going to do a show from Ultimate Fan Zone? When they write a check, BW. Like Western Dodge and Overtime Hockey Lanes will be doing a live show from there coming up in August. That's how it works. Vancouver Scott writes. Where's Vancouver Eric today? Scott in Vancouver writes in and says, is there anything out there anymore about a CFL, UFL merger? Scott, get a hobby. 902-518-3033 is the text line. Well, we covered it all, like 2 scant minutes, and we will be calling it a day and come back and reconvene tomorrow. Murph's going to be with us tomorrow. We'll be talking a lot of what we did with Moose today. NFL training camps will officially be opening on Tuesday. The rookies reported last Thursday, and we'll be continuing this discussion. Like I said, I want to know from you, where are you getting your NFL training camp news? For me, it'll largely be NFL Network and the team websites. And actually, I think I'm going to roll down to Ultimate Fan Zone this afternoon and see if they've got some Las Vegas Raiders gear there. What the hell? I walked in there, start of the summer, during the Stanley Cup playoffs, actually, and there was this hoodie, as they say, for the Vegas Golden Knights. Extra large. It was calling my name. It's the one that I was wearing on the program. I just feel like Raiders gear would fit in a hell of a lot better with the color scheme of this show. No, I'll not be cheering for the Carolina Panthers, Eric in Virginia. But nice try. Oh, Trevor, you're still hanging in from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Must be a slow day down there. He says, if you're an athlete, how do you not have a personal driver? He says, I believe Kiefer Sutherland had a personal driver. An athlete should. Bro, you live in Florida. How about Tiger Woods? Tiger Woods is the single reason Floridians are so upset that our car insurance rates are so high. Get about Tony Romo. Tiger Woods shouldn't be behind the wheel of a car. How does he not have a driver? He's worth $1 billion. Well, Trevor says, do we trust the NFL Network even if they were bought by ESPN? Wasn't it a bit of the other way around? NFL purchased 10% of ESPN. Trevor, I got to get you on the air. Maybe later this week, just so you all know. Thank you, Bill in Brantford writes, and he says, watching as usual. He says, you do the talking. I listen. Bill, there needs to be more people like you, Bill in Brantford. He says, you do the talking. I listen. Thank you, Bill in Brantford. But your opinions are always welcome because yours are reasonable. I have an invitation out there to my good friend Tad Cornegay, Fordham University star, the Grey Cup kid. He's a guy. Do you all remember he played in 3 straight Grey Cups for 3 different teams in 3 straight years? He was brought in by the 1-5 BC Lions in 2011 and saved the team. Just ask him and Arlen Bruce did. So I'm waiting to hear back from Tadito. Murph will be here tomorrow. I can't remember what we have the rest of the week, but it's going to be good. Thanks for playing along today, everybody. This has just been a whole lot awesome. Follow our social media channels at The Rod Pedersen Show, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, where we keep the discussion going. And we'll see you tomorrow here on The RP Show.
That